All right, week 11 is upon us, and just before we get into this game, a little announcement for everyone out there. You're 1-0 as an announcer
yes.
at the ACC this season, and you got word the other day that you're up on deck again.
I'm going to try and lead the Rock on Saturday night behind the microphone with my able assistant here. We're going to try and spur the crowd on and bring the Rock a home victory.
Yeah.
And I'm going to lead off with that one in our picks.
But hold on, it's a promotion for me too.
Yeah, we'll get Gary.
I can't believe I got asked to help out. And
yes, definitely.
What do I have to fan you down, or what do I do?
Yes, fan me down and hand me pizza and cokes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Actually, I do know sitting up in there, you guys get the whole box of pizza. Everybody else has to go fight for slices.
Oh yeah.
Pull the whole box in for you guys. Like I need that. But anyways. Yeah. So that's going to lead us off this week. Rochester coming into Toronto.
Yeah, well, just as I said at the top of the show, Gary, fear is an amazing motivator, and both of these teams are fearful of not continuing if they do not win on Saturday night. I picked this so far as the game of the season in the National Lacrosse League because there's a lot at stake, and Rock, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, by 2. At the end of the game, but it's going to be a playoff atmosphere. I talked to the Rock office this afternoon about tickets, and they said they're going fast. It's got a lot of interest in the area generated, has been generated for this game, and if you haven't have your tickets yet, phone up the next 24 hours and get them.
Given my new promotion and the fact that I will be assisting you, this should be an awesome game. By the way, you know what? I'm going to give the Rock this one. Two teams very, very desperate. Last week that both won, 2 teams that both won in overtime, 2 teams that are still very desperate that need to keep winning to stay in contention. You know what? If this was in Rochester, I would take Rochester in a second. But being as it's in Toronto, I think I'll lean to Toronto there. Next game, and again, this one should be an absolute dandy, and I'm going to let you speak first because I still don't know who I'm going to pick. Portland goes into Buffalo on a bit of a high. Buffalo's lost the last 2 in a row.
You know, and that's a matchup of last year's NLL Champions game. And there's still, the memories are fresh, no doubt, in Portland's mind about losing. But then again, for atmosphere, you cannot beat the HSBC on a Bandits home night. Boy, oh boy. I don't know about Buffalo losing 3 straight, but stranger things have happened. And our buddy Derek Keenan behind the bench there. Oh man, is there ties in this league?
No.
Oh geez. Buffalo by a squeaker.
Because I need to catch up to you, I'm going to go Portland in a revenge match from last week's final. No Dan Dawson, but again, they're playing really, really well. You know what? Buffalo might be in a bit of a slide right now, so I'm going to go with Portland there. Another doozy. Colorado goes into Calgary. Both teams having won last week.
The only reason I'm picking the Roughnecks is it's their home game.
And I am going to agree with you on that one. I don't think Calgary, I think right now is the team to beat. So
yeah,
I agree with you there. Edmonton going into San Jose.
Edmonton and San Jose.
2 teams that lost last week.
Yeah, lost last week. If I was Bob Hamley and the rest of the Edmonton Rush, I'd have a real burr up my ass right now because it must be getting frustrating for these guys. There's a lot of good players on that team.
Sure, yeah.
Who's their goalie now that Dietrich's gone? Well, you know, they must have a lot of faith in him to let Chugger come east.
I don't know the answer to that.
I would
How embarrassing is that?
That's okay. You don't know everything.
That shows why we're amateurs.
Yeah. I'm going to pick Edmonton.
All right.
Yeah.
2 teams on a real slide right now, and this is the last week I'm going to take them. I'm going to take San Jose. I don't know why I'm taking that, but I don't know why I'm not taking Edmonton either. So I'm going to go San Jose. Sunday afternoon, Colorado, after playing in Calgary, goes back home and plays at home against Minnesota.
Once again, I'm going to be a homer, and I'm going to pick the Mammoth this time. Minnesota, while they are a good team, I don't think they can go 6 in a row.
Yeah, and as much as I didn't even realize I was doing that. As much as I don't want to do this, I think Minnesota's a bit on a slide, on a roll, and I'm going to go with Minnesota here. At the same time, I'm picking Colorado to go 0-2, and I don't like doing that, but
Yeah.
you know what? I'm going to stick with Minnesota there.
Okay.
So, next thing we want to talk about after the games now, the trade deadline came and went, and I mean, there were a couple of deals. Not much. I mean,
Not
nothing
much
at all. And then usually, I mean, last year, you looked at, the Sanderson and Ratcliffe deal. Kersey went back to Buffalo, and there was a lot of action last year at the trade deadline. And this year, and no disrespect to the players that were traded, I think I read 3 or 4 deals, nothing.
Yeah, and I don't really know what the mitigating factors are for that, Gary. Whether their teams are kind of either saying, all right, this is where we're going to end up and we're happy with who we got, or money, or a guy not wanting to play in that city anymore. Really, I was surprised. I thought there'd be all kinds of moves, especially by some of the bottom feeders to try and bolster up themselves up for the playoffs. But well,
and I had a few people emailing me throughout the day of the trade deadline, asking me if I had heard anything, and I was just as much in the dark as everybody else was. Like I said, I mean, there's a couple of deals, but really, maybe the teams at the top are content and don't want to give anyone away. The teams at the bottom, I don't know how they can say that they're content, or they wouldn't be at the bottom.
Yeah.
A little bit surprising, but I guess maybe the economics of the game have something to do with it.
Could be. We're hearing things tossed about that there could be a few franchises not return, and the crowds are down. There isn't money for mom and dad to take the family out anymore, especially south of the border and some other pockets here in Canada. Let's hope they can keep it together. I really do. I hate to see this league drop down to like a 16 league or something. Sure. I don't know if it could survive.
Too many good players to have that drop down to 6 teams, because that would just that would put a lot of good players out of work. So next thing I just want to very briefly touch on, we are now just over a month, I think it's 4 or 5 weeks away from our charity game.
Yep.
I'll be doing this very shortly, and we'll go into a meeting that we're having tonight on the charity game. Still looking for registrations, but please, everybody out there, you have to understand we're only accepting registrations up until April 3rd. Because on April 3rd, we have to declare what the teams are going to be, who plays where, and we got to get shirts ordered and sizing and all that neat, wonderful stuff. So please, if you're planning on playing, quit telling everybody you are. Make sure that you get signed up. There's info on our website. tlclax.wordpress.com is the official site for the game. More and more things happening all the time, and more donations coming in. And as we said, the online pledging for everyone, and I know that's going very well so far. So please come on out. Please help us help the Children's Wish Foundation.
Yes, please do. We hope to have some, big name people come out and grace us with their presence. They may not play. They'll be around it. You can talk to them or sign a few autographs or whatever. And Gary just said Children's Wish Foundation. Well, that's one of the, all charities are good, but this is one of the ones that's real close to a lot of people's heart because it involves just little kids.
Exactly. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up this week. So on behalf of Ron Messer, who is...
I want all the people out in the OLA that run Junior A, Junior B teams, major teams and whatever to email me, courtesy of this site, and tell us what your promotional ideas are this year. We saw Mike Soulier from Windsor go up on the site the other day. Sarnia or Windsor?
Windsor, yeah.
Windsor,
awesome
$1,000 a game given away at every game, and tickets are $100 a piece. There's only 300 sold. That's what, 30,000 bucks. They give away 10. They keep
8 or 10.
They keep 20 for their operating costs. What a great idea. If anybody else comes up with something else that you can share with the rest of the teams, let me know, and we'll come on here and we'll promote your event.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about it. And because it's tough out there, folks. Sponsors aren't coming through that used to in the past for these teams, and they really need your help. So if any ideas you got, let me know, and I'll share them with the rest of the league.
Awesome. My name is Gary Mark, reminding everybody out there to stay safe, be good, keep your stick in the air, and keep subscribing to that Canadian Lacrosse magazine.